After months of hard work, we finally brought new life and personality to our once plain builder-grade kitchen. One DIY project at a time, we've added custom touches that reflect our style and make the space truly feel like home. From installing new countertops, building a custom vent hood, installing beautiful new floors, and adding architectural touches, every detail, big and small, has helped bring my vision to life. Slowly, we've been able to transform our basic cookie-cutter kitchen into a designer dream. Our kitchen wasn't anything special when we moved in, just your typical builder-grade kitchen with busy granite countertops and dark cabinetry. The whole space felt heavy, dated, and honestly a little uninspiring. It definitely wasn't a room I enjoyed spending time in, let alone one that sparked creativity, so I knew that the very first change we had to do were the countertops. We headed over to Pacific Shore Stones here in Southern California, where they had an incredible selection, everything from marble and granite to quartz and quartzite, but ultimately I decided to go with Taj Mahal quartzite. This stone had been at the top of my wish list for years. It's the perfect neutral with warm undertones and just enough movement to keep things interesting without feeling busy. I did choose it in a polished finish, and of course before installation day we had to remove our old granite countertops, and I was more than ready to see them go. They were dark, visually heavy, and clashed with just about everything I placed on top. They also made cleaning a challenge. You couldn't see a single crumb, which drove me crazy. So saying goodbye to those countertops felt like the official start of our kitchen's transformation. Once the old countertops were removed, our installers, MP Stone, a wonderful family-owned business, came out to take templates for the new stone. While they prepped for everything on their end, we had a few things to check off our list before installation day. I had already decided that I wanted to use the Taj Mahal quartzite as a full backsplash, not just on the counters, but to make that happen, a few changes had to come first, and the biggest one was removing the over-the-range microwave. It made the space feel outdated, and I knew I wanted to build a custom vent hood in its place. I also took the opportunity to remove the crown molding above the cabinets in order to raise them. This will not only help create more visual space for the backsplash, but also make extending the cabinets up to the ceiling a bit easier down the line. Okay, so excuse the mess right here, but we were working on the kitchen and I have this space right here that I wanted to cover up so that my cabinets look like they go all the way up to the ceiling, but it's about a foot long and I think that's just way too much space. I don't want it to look like I think it's called a soffit. I just want to give the illusion that my cabinets go up to the ceiling. So I'm thinking of raising my cabinets up a few inches, and it won't make a huge difference in being able to reach things, but then I can also have more stone as a backsplash. I can style with taller things, and it will be a lot easier to cover this up and it won't look too off, if that makes sense. So we are going to try to raise these just a few inches and hopefully it looks better.
Your eyes all night under the covers. Your place, my place, it doesn't matter. No one has to know. We'll keep it on the low. Round and round we go. Falling for you, feeling your skin, the night's getting colder, falling, holding, it's getting better, no one has to know.
One of the most exciting upgrades in our kitchen has been our new range from Impava. We've had it for a few months now and I couldn't be happier with it. Not only does it perform beautifully, but it completely elevated the look of the space. I was looking for something that would sit flush with the countertops for a cleaner, more streamlined look, and this one was perfect. Since we said goodbye to our old microwave and range combo, in its place we installed a new vent. Nothing fancy, just one I got from Amazon. We did keep the existing cabinet that was above the range, and we just cut out the bottom to fit the vent insert. And next up was building a custom vent hood. I knew I wanted something minimal yet classic with a traditional feel that would tie into the rest of the kitchen. So I started off by attaching a piece of plywood to cover the entire front. I then added simple trim along the sides, the bottom, and the top. Think of it like a shaker cabinet but in the form of a vent hood. It's clean, timeless, and blends perfectly with the rest of the design while still adding a bit of charm and craftsmanship to the space. For the side pieces of trim, I used 2 pieces of 1x2s that were a 1/4 inch thick, and for the top and bottom trim, I went with a 5-inch wide trim, also a 1/4 inch thick. I picked everything up at Home Depot. It was super budget friendly and a super easy project. I did use a nail gun to secure the trim in place. Once everything was attached, I filled the nail holes and caulked all the seams to give it a clean, seamless finish. Those small details are very important. They make it look custom and pulled together. This was honestly a very simple project, but it is proof that with just a few basic materials, you can create something that looks high-end without spending a ton. Next up was extending our cabinets all the way to the ceiling. You see this feature in a lot of designer kitchens, which helps create a more custom, high-end look, but most builder grade homes like mine have that typical gap between the top of the cabinets and the ceiling, so I of course wanted to cover that up. As you saw earlier, we raised our cabinets a few inches, and that small adjustment helped minimize the gap and made the whole project easier to finish cleanly. The first step was attaching 2x4s to the wall above the cabinets. These provided the structural support to have something to attach the wood to. I then took 2 1x2s and joined them perpendicularly to form an L shape, and I nailed them to the 2x4s. This helped create the illusion that that was where my cabinets ended, and once everything was painted, it did blend very nicely. Next, I added a 1x5 board across the top and secured it to the 2x4s, and the final touch was adding a thick crown molding, which helped fill the remaining space and gave it that polished, finished look. We did this on both sides of the kitchen, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. It's a simple upgrade that really makes a big visual impact. We also decided to give our pantry door a little upgrade, and one of the first changes we made was adding a window. I used the window insert kit from Peace Doors. It is on the affordable side in comparison to getting a brand new door, but I'm not gonna lie, it was a little intimidating knowing there was no going back once I cut the door, but it ended up being much easier than expected. The kit came with clear instructions and recommended measurements based on the type of door that you have, so we followed those and used a jigsaw to cut out the opening. The window insert itself comes in 2 pieces. It's already assembled when you first get it, so we unscrewed the parts to fit them into the door. One piece goes on the back and the other one goes on the front. You'll definitely want a second pair of hands to help with this project. Since you are handling glass, you do need someone to hold on to one side to keep everything aligned while securing it. Once we had the insert in place, we screwed the 2 halves together, and that was it. I finished it off by caulking around the edges to give it a clean, seamless look, like the window was always part of the door. I got this plastic thing from Amazon. It's basically supposed to be like reeded glass, and I did add a window to my pantry, which I'm sure you guys are all wondering, why did you add a window to your pantry? You're going to be able to see the mess in there, and I agree, but my plan was to add this to the window panels. That way it's kind of blurry and you can't really see through my pantry. So what I have to do is cut out the amount that I need, and I have to peel the backing on it, and then I'm going to spray it with water on this side, and then I'm going to spray the window with water, and it should stick. And you can use like a credit card or anything with a flat surface to kind of squeeze all the water out.
Sunlight dances on the back for thee to come home. I follow the words.
So I put the reeded plastic thing on the back of the door. That way when I close it, it actually looks like glass and it has this glass look. And my pantry light is on. You cannot see what's behind there, which I really like. It adds privacy. I don't have to have my pantry organized, which I kind of do in the future, want to do like a pantry makeover. But for now, this kind of helps hide the mess. One of the easiest ways to refresh a space is by updating the hardware, so I replaced our old door handle with a sleek black design that added a timeless modern touch to the kitchen. Moving on to one of the biggest transformations in our kitchen, the floors. Our previous floors were dark, visually busy, and revealed every single crumb, which made the kitchen feel smaller and constantly in need of cleaning. I knew it was time to brighten things up, and I was fortunate to partner with Gaiafloors for this project. They provided stunning luxury vinyl plank flooring for our home, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work with them. I chose the Athena color, which is a warm, neutral tone that completely transformed the space. It adds a soft warmth while making the entire kitchen feel more open and airy. These floors feature wide and long planks, which help create the illusion of a larger space. I also love the visible grain pattern, which gives the floor a natural high-end look. Gaia's LVP uses a drop-click system for quick installation, and it includes an advanced waterproof construction with a UV and stain-resistant ceramic bead finish, making it ideal for high-traffic areas like the kitchen. I have received so many wonderful compliments on my new floors. Family members have commented on how solid and luxurious the floors feel, and even our professional installer was impressed by the quality. He said it was such an amazing material to work with, and even asked for the product details to recommend to future clients. My in-laws love them so much, they're now considering installing the same floors in the future. Overall, this upgrade has completely transformed our kitchen. It feels like an entirely new space, and I couldn't be happier with the result. If you're considering new flooring, I highly recommend Gaiafloors for their combination of style, durability, and exceptional quality. Okay, now that the flooring is done, something that I've been wanting to do to my kitchen island is extend it out this way. I'll insert some inspo pictures of what I'm talking about, but I see a lot of designers kind of bring out their kitchen island. So my plan is to use 2x4s to kind of frame it out. And then I got a long piece of 1/4 inch plywood so that I can cover this side, the middle, and then that side. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm gonna start off by just framing each end with 2x4s and then putting the plywood.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name. They tell me to head your way, down your road and past your name. Keep your eyes on the horizon. I was looking to belong when I'd already found my home. Won't be long, I'm there before the setting sun, for you to fall into my arms, the place I call my home. I was looking to belong when I already found my home.
I kind of want to explain what I've been doing. So I finished this side. So what I did, I framed it out with 2x4s, and then we screwed that together, and then we added a 1/4 inch plywood. I believe this is blonde wood. I got it at Home Depot. It's a 4x8 panel, and it was, I believe, $30, $29, very inexpensive. So I got one for both sides, and then I got one for the middle. And so I cut it to fit, and then I'm using, I believe this is 5.5. It's primed trim. I don't know what this is, but I got it at Home Depot as well. So I did it on both sides. Now for the middle, I first installed this one. This is 1/4-inch plywood, and since it has the jagged edges from the jigsaw, I attached this first, and then I knew I was going to add a piece of plywood here. So I made sure that the edge I was going to put against the jagged edge was the clean edge of the wood. And then on this side, I added a 1/4-inch plywood here. But before that, I added the jagged edge of this wood here, and then the clean edge of this piece right here. That way I have really clean lines. I am going to caulk that, but I didn't want any of this showing. I am going to add a piece of trim right here and then right here to cover all of that. But I wasn't going to add any trim right here, so I wanted to make sure it was clean lines. I am going to be adding the trim in here and then a piece of trim on this right here, and it should be done.
I know a place where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to know where we go. I was just
One detail I've always wanted to add to our kitchen was trim around the window. I love the charm and character that traditional trim brings to a space. The first step was removing the old blinds. While they served their purpose for privacy when we first moved in, they were starting to make this space feel dated and closed off. I decided to design my own custom look, starting with a 1x6 board across the bottom of the window to create a windowsill. I left an additional 5.5 inches on either side to create the illusion of a larger window. I then added a piece of decorative trim molding to all 3 sides to bring in some visual interest. I then installed a 1x3 piece on all 3 sides as well to make the window just feel a little bit wider and taller, and to complete the look and add dimension, I installed a 1x2 perpendicularly across the top and sides, allowing it to extend outwards slightly and create a framed effect around the window.
away with me. Just run away with me.
On the bottom of the window, I added another piece of trim to tie everything together and balance the design. This DIY project was very cost effective, and it brought so much height and character to the kitchen. It was exactly the effect I was hoping for. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen those window, I don't know how to say it. I think it's a window mullions. They're like the grids on the window, and I really want to do that on my windows since it doesn't have anything. It's just a plain window, and I did find this on Amazon. So it's kind of like a plastic, it's hard plastic, and it has this glue on the back, so you just peel it off and it should be able to stick on the window, and you can create your own grid pattern. Now these do have mixed reviews on Amazon. Some people love them and say that they really like it, that it works very well, and some people hate it and say that it doesn't work very well and it doesn't last. So I decided to just give it a shot. All of this is $9.99, so $10. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. If not, then I'm going to have to order more to finish the window.
Golden days
I was pleasantly surprised by how easy this product was to work with. It has a simple peel and stick design, so I just removed the backing as I applied it directly to the window. The quality felt great and it adhered nicely without any issues, and to keep everything straight, I did measure first and I used a dry erase marker to draw a guideline on the glass. I did end up needing a second pack to finish the full window, so I finished the second side the following day. So I did finish installing this little trim earlier today, so now I want to install the wall treatment. And 2 pages did send over some options. So the first ones are these cafe curtains. The color is beige ivory or beige white. It is a triple pleat header and they are so pretty. I did get them unlined because I do want to have some lighting coming in. I don't want to block out the light. So these, you would install like a small tension rod in the middle of the window, and then you would hang them like this. It's hard to see because I don't have a tension rod, but I feel like they would look very pretty. I just don't know if this is the style I'm trying to go for, and I feel like the Roman shades are going to be more my style and go with the design of the kitchen. So they did send over some Roman shades. These you would install at the top of the window, and you can do an inside mount or an outside mount. I did an inside mount just for a clean look since I did add trim around my window. So these would go inside the window and it would look like this, but all the way at the top, and then it kind of like folds together like this. So I feel like I'm gonna like that a lot better.
Miles and miles on the clear blue skies, we drive straight as an arrow flies. Nowhere to be, no dreams to chase tonight. We've got time.
Today's the day we finally get to paint our kitchen. I feel like this is going to be the biggest change in this kitchen and what's going to make the biggest difference. So today we are going to be painting them. I did cover everything that I don't want paint on since I am going to be using a paint sprayer. I did pick up the Wagner, I think it's called the Wagner 150. It's on Amazon. It had great reviews, so I did pick that one up, and I am going to be spraying everything. I'm also going to be spraying the cabinet doors and the drawer fronts outside. I do have I think it's called an easy up canopy. I am going to be hanging the doors on there. I did pick up these little cup hooks. So what you do is just screw them on to the side where you won't see. So for the top doors, it would be on the top, and then for the bottom doors, it would be on the bottom. So I'm going to be attaching these, and then you can hook them onto a hanger, and that way it's easier for me to spray. Now, I did do a lot of research on what paint I should use, what process I should do to make them look very professional and give me that factory-like finish, because I really want them to look good. I don't want them to look DIY. So after watching many videos, I did pick up this primer. I did pick up the Bin Shellac primer. I heard amazing things about this. Apparently it sticks onto anything, and I've just heard it's a really good primer, so I am going to be using this. And for paint, I did watch this specific video, which I will leave link down below in case you want to inform yourself. But I heard that the best paint for cabinets is the Benjamin Moore Advanced line. But my color is not Benjamin Moore, it's Sherwin-Williams. So he said that the Emerald line from Sherwin-Williams, which is the urethane trim enamel, is on par with the Benjamin Moore Advanced, which is great because that's the one that Jenna recommended to me as well. So I did pick that one up, and I did test a lot of samples throughout these past months to see which one I liked with the stone. And I did use an old cabinet door that was above my microwave. It's really bad, but I did swatch a bunch of different colors. You can't really see them because this is the dark cabinet, but I believe this is Revere Pewter, Pale Oak, this is Morris Room Gray, accessible beige, natural cream, and this is just a lighter version of this color. And then on the back I have Shiitake and Revere Pewter, which is the two colors that I was going back and forth on, but ultimately I did decide on Shiitake. I think it's a beautiful warm mushroom color. I feel like this one was just a little too light. And this is the paint that I was talking about. It's the emerald line. It's the urethane trim enamel. So I'm hoping it comes out really good. What I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to sand every cabinet door. I already sanded everything here. I wiped it down. So I still need to sand those, wipe them down, add the little cup hooks, and then I'm ready to prime everything. And once I prime, I'm then going to be sanding everything. I heard that it's very important to sand after primer because it makes the surface very rough and you just want to smooth it back out to again give you that professional factory-like finish. And then you wipe everything down and then you can add your paint color. And you can sand it between coats. I am going to be doing 2 coats and I might sand in between the coats just to make it look extra good. But that is the plan for today. I'm so excited to finally see this kitchen with that color because I have a lot going on right now. I have primed wood, I have dark cabinets, and it's just making me go crazy because I can't fully see my vision with seeing all these different colors. So I'm so excited.
Later on in the night, when the crowds have gone, we could talk under moonlight till dawn. We could stay to watch the sunrise, cancel all our plans. We don't need a reason why we just can't. I wish I could stop time and stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while? Got myself free falling deep into your eyes. You came to me without warning, but I knew why. I wish I could stop time and stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while? Stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while?
Today's project is spray painting these lights. I got them on Facebook Marketplace. They are some pendants that are from Rejuvenation originally. There are a few sellers around me that sell designer items for a fraction of the cost. I don't know how they do it, but they have items from Lulu in Georgia, Amber Interiors, McGee Co for a fraction of the cost, like big items, furniture, pendants. And they had these pendants. They are from Rejuvenation. They are so beautiful and I thought they would look perfect in the kitchen. The only problem is the color of the brass. So this is very bright, very gold, and the color that I'm going for is a champagne bronze. It's the color that my faucet is in from the Delta line, and I tried to put them next to each other to see if it would work and I didn't have to mess these up, but they just don't look good. They don't look cohesive, and I feel like my design is gonna not, I don't know, it's not gonna go together if I keep this color. So I found this spray paint on Amazon. It is satin bronze. by Rust-Oleum, and it's a very similar color to that champagne bronze. So I am going to be spray painting these, and it kind of hurts me because originally these are very expensive and I just feel bad messing them up, but I just know that it's going to look a lot better, and I got them for such a good price, a fraction of the cost. So I'm very excited to have some pendants in my kitchen. I've never had that. Originally my house had a canned light in the middle of the island, and I did have some electricians come and remove that middle light and instead do 2 lights above the kitchen island. That way I'm able to do pendants because I feel like that really elevates the space.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name. They're telling me to head your way, down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the horizon.
So I have this opening right here in my kitchen. It is right next to my pantry door, if you can see right there. This is the opening, and it is a squared off opening, and I've been wanting to have it be an arch. So I did reach out to a few people, and I did end up finding someone, and they quoted me over $2,000 to do an arch. So there's no way I'm gonna be paying $2,000 for an arch. So I kind of was going to give up on that idea. I have seen DIY arches, and I don't know, I'm like scared to do one, but I came across a kit on Etsy where you can do an arch for a fraction of the cost, and it looks very easy. It has a 5-star rating with 162 reviews, and they are all 5 stars, saying that it's very easy, that it is the best thing ever. So I ordered it. I got it in the mail today. So what he asks is for you to measure the width, and then you have to measure the width of the opening, and he makes it for you. So this is what comes in the mail. I believe it's a 3D print. So you get this big one and then these 2 small ones. These 2 small ones are the same size, so you can attach it to either side. So you apply some crazy glue, Gorilla Glue, on this flat part, and then you connect the pieces like that, and then you connect the bottom like that, and then you glue it to the corner of your opening, and you do get 2 of them, so it would look like this, and you get an arch, and you just have to apply some joint compound. If you have textured walls like I do, you can do some texture spray, some orange peel spray, and then paint. The only thing is that my corners are bullnose corners, so I'm gonna have to use some drywall tape on the edges to kind of blend them together, and then I'm gonna have to blend this straight edge with the bullnose corner edge. If you have 90-degree straight edges, this will be 10 times easier for you. They do have a video on the Etsy listing. You just apply glue on the wall, so I'm going to be using some Gorilla Glue, and then you put this in place and you kind of tape it just so that it stays in place. Once it dries, all you have to do is just apply some joint compound and blend everything together, and that's it, and you get an arch. It's so easy, so I'm gonna give it a try. Wish me luck. I hope I can do it and pull it off.
Place where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to know where we gonna go. I was just calling to see if you're free.
I can now understand why this arch kit has a 5-star rating. It truly exceeded my expectations. The fact that I was able to create a beautiful custom looking arch without using any power tools still amazes me. While it did require some time to apply the joint compound and carefully blend the edges, the process was very straightforward and very manageable. After everything was dry, I sanded it smooth, wiped it down, and used a texture spray to match the rest of the wall. Then I painted over it with Snowbound by Sherwin, which is the paint color of my walls, so it helped blend everything seamlessly. I am beyond impressed with the result. This kit completely transformed the room and added such a polished architectural touch. So if you are thinking of doing a DIY arch, I highly recommend this kit. I will have it linked down below, as well as all of the supplies that I used. For the final details, I focused on small updates that really helped pull the space together. On my island, I had 2 dark brown outlets that were originally installed to match the old cabinet color. I was hesitant to replace them myself, so instead I opted for paintable outlet covers I found on Amazon. I painted them Shiitake to match the new island color, and they now blend in beautifully. I also updated the outlet covers throughout the kitchen with a more decorative design. These are also from Amazon, and I feel like they just helped elevate these outlet covers to not look so plain and boring. For the cabinet hardware, I went with these pretty little brass knobs from Amazon. They match the rest of the brass accents perfectly, and I love how simple and delicate they look, just the right touch without being too much. I've been counting down the days to finally decorate this space, and the moment is finally here. To start, I styled this beautiful vase that I picked up from the vintage rug shop, although you can also purchase them from Etsy or Amber Interiors. I've had this single stem from Crate & Barrel for a while now, and I have always envisioned it here in the kitchen. It does retail for $34, which is a bit of a splurge for just one stem, but it makes such a statement that you really don't need more than one. To bring in a little warmth and texture, I added my breadboard from Olive Atelier. I draped a kitchen napkin over it and added a few fresh loaves to create a simple, welcoming display. It's an easy touch, but it makes the kitchen feel instantly more styled and inviting. On this side of the kitchen, I started by styling a cookbook stand from McGee Co. I love the rustic texture it brings. It adds depth and character to this little corner. I opened one of my favorite cookbooks, spread on the table, and chose a beautiful image to display. This instantly makes the space feel more curated and personal. I recently purchased this beautiful set of charming blue saucer plates on Etsy, and I knew I wanted to incorporate them into the kitchen. I love how the blue adds a nice pop without overwhelming the space. And right next to the cookbook stand, I placed 2 canisters. These are also from McGee Co. These are perfect to store oatmeal or rice or anything that you often reach for. I've had these for a while, and I love their clean design with the neutral tone. And in this little corner, I'm placing a recent find that I got from HomeGoods. They are serving boards on a stand, and you can use these for hosting or just to display in the kitchen like I am. I think they're so cute and unique, and they fill the space nicely. Now, to make the space feel a bit more lived in, I casually draped a kitchen towel over the counter and added a vintage rolling pin that I sourced from Etsy. It's these little details that bring the warmth and personality to the space. On the other side of the kitchen, I styled a couple of vintage breadboards that I found on Etsy from a shop called Grey on Elm. Olive Atelier also carries similar styles if you're looking for that beautifully worn rustic look. I paired them with a small vase that is also from the same Etsy shop, and it comes with a cute little stand. I placed a rosemary plant inside of the planter, which adds a perfect touch of greenery while also being practical for everyday cooking. I also grouped my salt and pepper mills here, classic pieces you can find from a variety of retailers, including Amazon. I did purchase mine from a store called Meridian. To keep things functional, I added a ceramic spoon rest from World Market and topped it with a simple wooden spoon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby years ago. And for a little vintage charm, I included a tea kettle from Amazon. It has soft blue tones that ties in with the blue from my saucer plates, and it also has a warm brass finish that ties in beautifully with the salt and pepper mills. For the last corner in my kitchen, I styled a few of my favorite cookbooks, and by favorite I mean aesthetically. I have yet to open them to see what recipes they have, but I did recently find a cookbook on Amazon that I love. It has a beautiful cover and spine, but the inside is filled with blank pages for writing your own recipes. I thought it was such a cute idea and a great way to write down family recipes I've been given over the years, and maybe one day I'll pass it down to my girls. I leaned all three books casually against the wall to keep the vibe relaxed and lived in, and to add some texture I included a wicker bowl from Walmart. I actually DIY'd this piece in a previous video and I love how it turned out. I filled it with a few fresh avocados for a natural, effortless touch. I also wanted to share a bit about our sink and faucet choices. The sink is from a brand called Stylish, available on Amazon. It was recommended by my in-laws and I've been really happy with it. It comes with 3 built-in accessories that slide along a ledge inside the sink, perfect for saving counter space. The faucet is from Delta in the champagne bronze finish, which complements our countertops beautifully. I love the way it looks. We also added a filtered water faucet and an air gap in the same finish to keep everything cohesive. To make the space feel a little more inviting, I decided to add a runner. I found this one online at TJ Maxx and I was immediately drawn to the pattern and the subtle hints of blue. It ties everything together beautifully, adding just the right amount of color and texture without overwhelming the space. There was a small blank wall next to our archway that felt like it needed a little something, so I added a simple piece of art. The frame is from At Home and the print is a digital download from Etsy. It's a small touch, but it really completes the space. Last but not least, my bar stools. I found these at Marshall's a while back and I really love them. The wood adds such a nice warmth to the space and the light fabric helps keep everything feeling bright and open. They're super comfortable and the style just works so well with the rest of the kitchen. I have seen them online a few times since, so I'll be sure to link them down below or share a few similar finds in case they're no longer available. Now let's take a look back at where we started. Our kitchen felt dark, busy, and far from my personal style, but through countless hours of planning, hard work, and hands-on DIY projects, we've completely transformed this space into the kitchen of my dreams. So, what do you all think of the kitchen makeover? It has been such a journey working in this space and I can't believe it's finally done. It just feels so surreal to walk in here and be like, oh my god, this is my kitchen. I love it. I love it so much and I really hope you all love it and love all the little DIY projects that I did in this space. I hope this inspired you to do a DIY project or something that you've been wanting to do in your space. Something as little as just painting can truly transform a space. So I hope this gave you some motivation and some inspiration on what you can do in your spaces. I just want to say thank you so much for being patient with me. I was getting a lot of DMs, comments, and just questions on where is the kitchen makeover, and I hope it was worth it for all of you. I'm sure you can see why it took me forever. It was just a bunch of little things that I had to do, and it's definitely not easy as a mom of two. I have to work around their schedules and when I have time. As you can see, most of the projects were done at night because that's usually when I have time. But I'm so happy that it's finally done and that I finally get to share it with you. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye everyone.